have never won a World Cup game in 94 years of trying. Last night, they won 6-0. Their striker scored a hat-trick. Their substitute scored and held up an injured teammate's shirt. Their prime minister was in the stands, and their best midfielder left in an ambulance. That is day 8. Hello everyone and welcome back to FUT IN Review World Cup Daily, episode 18. Day 8 is done, and I'm joined today by not one, but two co-hosts rather. I've got John and James. How are you doing, guys?
All good here, mate.
I was hoping for that to happen. Let's go with you, John.
No, all good here, mate. Thanks. Yeah, the World Cup schedule is definitely getting used to. The only thing is I'll just fall asleep randomly during the day, but that's it.
Yeah, that's good. James, how are you doing after yesterday?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm good. I enjoyed the first couple of games yesterday, so that was good, Shaq.
That's amazing. Right. So, 4 games yesterday. Canada made history. Mexico qualified. Switzerland came from nowhere. And Czechia blew it again. Let's get into it. A quick reminder, everyone. If you would like to subscribe to the Patreon, you can always buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/FUTInReview. The newsletter is live. And just link in the show notes as well. Right, let's get into it, lads. First game we have is Czechia versus South Africa. 2 teams who both lost their openers, both needing a win. Czechia scored early, another throw-in goal from them. They're second of the tournament, and they were dominant. Schick had chances in both halves and missed. South Africa barely threatened. But Czechia couldn't finish it off. A foul gave away South Africa a late penalty, and Tobiho Mokeno converted 1-1. Czechia led, controlled, and still didn't win. 2 games, 2 leads, 0 wins. I do feel for Czechia. What are your thoughts, John?
I don't know if I feel for Czechia, if I'm honest. I think they have a pretty decent team, but just lack that killer instinct. They scored after how many minutes? 6 minutes or something already?
That's right.
So early on. To be fair, that second, they didn't push out too much. Czechia is like the same sort of style Swiss play. Very stable, very controlled. Don't give much away. But also, there's not much pressure on opponents, right? So, and this is a World Championship so far where passion comes a long way and a goal is scored. I think they also underestimated the opponent, if I'm quite honest. South Africa played with 6 different players because of all the red cards and injuries and things like that. To be fair, there's no excuse for Czechia.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think after if you remember rightly, the first episode that we saw South Africa, you and me trashed South Africa and how they performed. So I think it would be fair for Czechia to consider them as an underdog. James, any fondness for Czechia? Because, I mean, all the likes of Pavel Nedved and all those Kolar, all those wonderful players that have come along the way. I think we assume Czechia would be an amazing team, but this team is just not able to get over the line. What do you think?
Yeah, Nedved was brilliant back in the day for Juventus. Absolutely fantastic. But no love lost for me and the Czechs because of that halfway line goal from Schick against Scotland, if you can remember that. So Not really. But it's a team of giants. So I expected a lot more crosses in the box and things like that. And really, everything that John says, I echo that. I totally agree. It was a disappointing draw for the Czechs.
It is going to be hard for them to qualify from here on in, but I think this group is still a bit alive, and things can change in the last game. But I think it's more than likely going to see Mexico and South Korea advance unless something drastically changes. But
it's three teams can progress still, right?
True, you're quite right there. You are quite right there. Czechia still is not dead and buried. You're right, John. You're right.
Mexico already qualified now. We'll talk about that in a moment, but they won't play the top 11 players against Czech, so there's a chance there.
But they're playing at home. They'll have the home ground advantage.
Yeah, but you don't want to get your yellow cards or injuries in. We've seen that happen now. It's pretty tiresome World Cup to play in, so they'll get plenty of players that will get some rest in. So
that's right. Well, moving along swiftly to the second game, which I really want to point out the fact that this game was played at, I think, close to 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock in the afternoon on a weekday in LA, and it was packed. for all those thoughts that we have of this World Cup not working out, just the optics were brilliant. Goalless for 73 minutes though. Bosnia were compact. This is between Switzerland and Bosnia. Bosnia were compact, organized. Czechia was getting the touches, and their fans were bouncing at the SoFi Stadium, which is, by the way, beautiful little stadium there. Actually, not little, big. Switzerland were doing all the pressing, but going nowhere. And then in the 74th minute, we saw a cross drop through the air and was hit with an absolute volley that went straight in the roof of the net. Game changed instantly. 6 minutes later, a through ball came through and last man challenged, straight red. Down to 10 men, Bosnia collapsed. Vargas made it 2. Manzebi got a second goal. Shaq converted a penalty in stoppage time. 5 goals in 16 minutes after 73 minutes of nothing. This game was a weird one. I thought it was going to be a goalless draw, but it turned out to be quite epic in the end. Your thoughts, John?
Well, actually, that was a pretty cool match to watch. I think Bosnia, like you said, compacted. I quite like that team, honestly. But I like Swiss as well. I think Swiss probably deserved to win. And yeah, like they won, but I think they had the most of the play. I really like Vargas as a player, by the way. Really stands out every single match. This time as well. I mean, he's not the highlight of the match, but if you look at him play, definitely worth watching. In the end, deserved. I'm a little bit disappointed by Bosnia. But yeah, it's what it is, I'm afraid.
Yeah, a bit disappointed for Bosnia, but it is what it is. Your thoughts, James?
Yeah, disappointing for Bosnia as well. I believe, actually, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think the manager's only had 6 games. So that was his 6th game in charge of Bosnia. So to have what John was talking about, being compact and things like that, is great, but they just fell away. And then Switzerland subs done the damage. I was disappointed when Doy, I thought he was going to have a really good game. And then, of course, his substitute came off for Vargas. And then the 2 boys, the boy up front, changed the game. You know, the young forward, he plays in the Bundesliga for Freiburg. So he's got, even though he's young, you know, he's been playing on and off this season. So it was a really good moment for him.
The red card probably changed this game, though.
Aye, of course.
Yeah. The goal that Bosnia scored was a pretty good goal. I think Mamic, that guy, just came onto the pitch as well and just scored a lovely goal with a volley. But I think Bosnia, like Czechia, is not out and done just yet. But I just don't see... Both the games that they played, they haven't really done anything spectacular just yet, but maybe there's still some in the tank and they can come out and show us what they have in this World Cup. And fingers crossed they do something. Right, moving along to the next game that we had Canada and Qatar. This is an interesting game. Canada's first ever World Cup win, and they won 6-0. Larin opened it in the 15th minute. David volleyed in the second, and Qatar had a man sent off. VAR upgraded a yellow on the last man. David got his second in the first half stoppage time. Canada was 3-0 at halftime. Then 51 minutes passed and Qatar's Badibo upended Koné from behind. Brutal challenge. Left him clutching his leg. Stretched it off with oxygen. It was terrible to see him walk away. And the tackle looked really bad as well. The game went on and Saliba came and scored a brilliant free kick. It was wonderful to see. And overall, I think this game had everything. 6 pretty decent goals. A couple of own goals that just scrapped through. Overall, I think this is Koné, unfortunately, has left the game and left the tournament and won't be back for a while. But what a game, hey? 6 goals. Your thoughts? James, what do you think of this game?
Yeah, it was a good game. Jonathan David stepped up to the plate for his country. He said that on and off season with Juventus, he was scoring more in the latter stage of the season rather than the first. So, yeah, decent, good hat-trick. It was a good free kick, like you mentioned, hit the post and in. It's always sweeter when that happens. But I was always expecting Canada to win, even if they did go, I know there was red cards in the game, but you expect Canada to win. And then, like you said at the start there, 94 years since they've had a World Cup win. That's fantastic.
Wow. Don't forget to give credits to Larin again, though, scoring yet another opener for Canada.
Yes.
He's got a very good record as well, yeah.
And I don't know why, but I think I'm cursing players in a positive way, Shaq. So whenever this season so far, this World Cup so far, whenever I go tell bad things about a player or predict not doing very well, they tend to, prove me wrong. I said something about Messi and he scores a hat-trick. I said something about Larin and he scored in the first match and in the second half, or in the second match. Is there anyone you guys want me to positively curse? Because I can do that right now, though.
McTominay, please.
There we go.
Well, McTominay, I think he's... No, I'm not going to do that. We've got too many Scottish listeners to make sure that...
How about you do something for Isak? Yeah.
No. Because we're playing them this weekend.
That's right. Oh, look, I think the only takeaway that I had from this particular game was the fact that Qatar, if you remember the game against Switzerland, they had the last-minute equalizer, the header that came out of nowhere, and everyone just took notice and thought, oh, man, Qatar is not just dead and buried. They could do something. For them to concede 6 goals and feel so defeated, and also having 2 red cards, it just feels like just an opportunity that they actually have lost. And coming back from here, after conceding 6 goals and just having 1 point to your name, it's going to be a tough group for them to get out of right now, don't you think?
I think everyone knew Qatar would have a difficult here. 1 point was already on the high side, to be fair, and they were extremely lucky to get that goal in. Because Swiss, they basically did what Czech did yesterday, right? Just don't finish it off and you'll get there. 2 red cards, you can't come back from 2 red cards, mate. So there's that as well. You're 2-0 down, or 3-0 down actually already, you get a red card in. The first red card was in the 30th minute. I mean, what else can you expect then, right? So, and to be fair, all red cards were deserved, I think, as well. I do want to highlight one player from Qatar, and that's Afif.
Yes.
I think that's a really cool player to watch. If you turn that around, by the way, it says FIFA. I don't know if that says something. I'm just saying. But I have a look at Afif. I think the last match they play. But, I mean, it's a fun team, but that's it, right? It's a fun guy. They got cool kids.
Half the team seems like Brazilian, so that's another that's another take. They've got Ed Milson, they've got another Denilson, and they've got a whole variety of players. But hey, it is what it is. Any thoughts on that particular game, James? Anything that we haven't covered yet?
No, I think we've covered everything on that.
Everything. Yep, cool. Let's move on to the final game of today, which is Mexico versus South Korea. A dull first half, 5 shots between them. Mexico looked nervous. It's almost like they just needed to do something at home. South Korea looked organized. And then in the 50th minute, South Korea's goalkeeper came rushing off his line to claim a routine ball, jumped and collided with his own defender and dropped it. Luis Romo was standing right there, empty net, 1-0. Mexico never needed another. South Korea poured forward, 58% possession, better XG in the second half, but the Rangel, the goalkeeper, just produced a miraculous double save in the 87th minute. And it just seemed like it just wasn't going to be South Korea's day. Mexico pretty much is the first team to qualify to the second round. So I think this is to the knockout stage. So I think this is good on them for having 2 wins back-to-back at home. They deserve it. But it's just one of those things where you feel a bit gutted for South Korea, don't you?
So I think this wasn't a boring first half. I think South Korea did exactly what they needed to do. Stay in form. By the way, that crowd just went nuts. There were 6 minutes of heavy possession from South Korea. They just didn't give the ball away. And the crowd went nuts and started whistling and booing. I think that's how you defeat this Mexico squad. So they did that really well. They got some chances in. It wasn't like a spectacular match, but it was a football fight, I think. Yep. It's unfortunate because the goalkeeper stopped an insane ball first. I quite like Kim at South Korea as a goalkeeper. But I think he got overconfident because he didn't need to go out. There were 2 defenders there. He fumbled over one of the defenders. That was the goal giveaway. Rangel had a terrific match as well. So well done as well. This could go either way. I think a draw would be probably deserved here. But it's fine. It makes sure the last match goes over. South Korea will progress, though. They got plenty of skill. I think South Korea feels pretty similar to Japan, except I think Japan has a little bit more quality, but it still is 90% of the Japan squad, in skill, in level. So it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Son, amazing assist, amazing goal chance at the first half as well. I think Alvarez took it from the line with a bicycle kick. So there was definitely options there. And any other day, this would end in the draw, and I think that would be fair enough. But hey, it's good for Mexico. Took the most of the advantage they got at home. And I think this could lead to a really boring third match from them.
It's hard to know. It's really hard to know. I think even the guys that are having an opportunity to play in the World Cup would want to shine at home. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. Your thoughts, James?
It was just, even though South Korea lost, they've still got a great chance to progress, like John says. They've still got 3 points in the bag, so they can progress in the last game with a victory, or even maybe sneak it through with third place. So even though it was a loss for South Korea, there's still potential there to get qualified. And Mexico, home nation, it's always good when the home nation goes through, right? So yeah, fair play.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll move along to our daily segment, which is the baller, the bottler, and the drama. And for the baller, there's none other than Canadian Jonathan David, who scored a hat-trick, his first ever hat-trick. Jonathan David plays for Juventus. He has 39 international goals for Canada. However, in Vancouver, he scored a hat-trick, a volley, a rebound, and a composed finish in stoppage time, and delivered Canada's first World Cup win. Not just a win, a 6-0 win. The biggest result in the history of sport for that country. He's the first CONCACAF player to score a hat-trick at a World Cup since 1930. And Canada, 6 goals yesterday, doubled the entire World Cup goal tally coming into the game. But there was a lot of drama in that game, but I think the goal of that particular game was the Saliba goal that we spoke about. But Jonathan David looked like he was on fire yesterday. Hey, John.
I was just wondering, did we get any sponsor money from Canada, or what happened here?
Hey, they are a host nation. And I love when a host nation does well.
I didn't get any tickets, though, did you? Because did I miss something here? No, put all things in perspective, right? I don't want to be that guy, but it's 6-0 against Qatar, playing with 9 men for 60 minutes. There's something to be said there as well. And I've seen David play every single match this year. I'm not too fond of him. Like, I don't rate him too high. I applaud the performance, but I've seen people saying we're going to win the World Cup. No, there's no chance. So.
That's fair. Any thoughts on Jonathan David? James, you already mentioned about Jonathan David earlier. Anything you want to add on?
I agree with everything regarding Jonathan David. Definitely. There's not really much to add, but also, of course, Canada's not going to win the World Cup.
That's true. Hey, I love when a host nation does well, as you can see with Mexico and now Canada.
They're giving all the advantages to those nations as well, right?
Yeah.
Giving them the best stadium. Mexico plays it at insane heights. It's cool. I like to see the rest of the tournament, but I am very happy for Canada, right? Yeah. It's a high scoring match, but also they won the World Cup match, which is really cool to see. Yeah. There's nothing to be not loved about Canada, to be fair. I mean,
look, I think I'm all for the host nations for Mexico and Canada, but not for America tomorrow, because Australia plays America at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, my time. So yeah, go the Socceroos. Right, the bottler. Let's talk about the bottler. The bottler, in my opinion, is Czechia this time around. 2 games, 2 leads, 0 wins. Schick is missing everything. Czechia led against South Korea in game 1, drew. Czechia led against South Africa yesterday and drew. They have scored first in both games. They have not won either. And they're the first team to score first in their opening 2 World Cup games and failed to win since 2006. That was Tunisia. And the name at the center of it is Patrik Schick. He missed chances in both halves versus South Africa, big chances. That's the kind of player at his level should be converting, don't you think? John?
Yeah, I mean, Schick had an awesome tournament last time around.
Exactly.
Normally great. He's just out of form, and it starts nagging at you, right? We've seen the same at the Netherlands squads, where Malen just goes over a good record at Roma, comes in the Dutch squad, misses sitters, and suddenly you're like, you can't help but start thinking about it, I think. And it needs to fall your way. I mean, if they get 2 red cards and they have a little bit more free, he might score 2, and then suddenly it scores broken and you go for it. So it's the same as with David, I think. Sometimes it just happens and then you're through, and it breaks open for you. Like the sun is suddenly shining instead of raining, and you're there. I think what the coach does, putting him in, letting him stay in, and giving him the confidence, I think, is the exact thing they should be doing now. And besides, what do they have for backup, James? I don't know. But
not much, really. And I think they play their backup as well on the right wing. But with Schick, he's an experienced striker, very experienced, and plays in the German league as well for Bayer Leverkusen. So it's quite surprising that he hasn't really stepped up to the plate. And he only got one shot on target, I believe, in the match yesterday. So a bit disappointing. So totally agree with the selection.
Yeah, it's hopefully he just is able to shake off those niggles and do something in this final game, because he's needed, definitely
able
needed.
to shake off the shackles.
Yeah, shake off the shake. Right, let's move on to the drama. The drama is obviously Ismaël Koné. 51st minute, Canada was leading 3-0. The game is won. Qatar's Asim Madibo comes in from behind on Ismaël Koné's with a clumsy challenge that leaves him clutching his leg. He doesn't get up. The medical team come on. The oxygen comes out. Both sets of players look on. Koné is put on a stretcher, arms raised to the crowd. VAR upgrades Madibo's car to red. Qatar are down to 9 men. And all of that barely matters because everyone is watching Koné leave on a stretcher. The extent of the injury is still yet to be confirmed, but the images tell you it was serious. I saw clips of this and it didn't look good. It didn't look good. Hey.
Don't know what happened, of course, but the fact that the medical team didn't even await the fact that they could be waved in by the ref. They immediately rushed in. People were forming a circle. But also the player from Africa himself, I forgot his name, to be quite honest, the guy that got the red card from that fall, he seemed absolutely shocked by what happened. Yeah. So it's probably a break, I think. Because if it looks that bad, it's probably a break. It sucks. It's unfortunate because I don't think he meant to do that, looking at his face. He didn't even protest the red card either, to be fair.
He was in shock as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, and I think I've had it happen as well before, where you don't want to make the fall, you make the fall, and you suddenly look around and you look at someone's leg and like, oh, gee, did that? And you get nauseous yourself as well, right? It's I don't think anyone does this on purpose. And it sucks for him because if it's a broken leg or something like that, could be like half a season, maybe a whole season out, right? So,
yeah, it could be at least 6 months out.
Yeah,
it was a horrible tackle, wasn't it, James?
Yeah, certainly a Scottish expression. It looked Açorian. Definitely it was. But hopefully he can make a good recovery. Just like it happened over 20 years ago for a former player of John's and myself and Henrik Larsson. And he, easy for me to say, he recovered quite well. So hopefully he can still do that. But yeah, it was a tough one.
Yeah, fingers crossed he recovers straight away and, well, as soon as he possibly can. And he's back on the playing field. And it's sad that his World Cup has come to an end, but hopefully he's back to full fitness sooner rather than later. Well, just changing gears quickly. For tomorrow, the games that we have outstanding are the USA versus Australia. Go the Socceroos. So I can't wait to show the Americans who can play soccer better than the other. The other game that we have is, James, your Tartan Army, Scotland versus Morocco. I'm really looking forward to that game. Any thoughts on the Scotland-Morocco game?
Even a draw would be good for us,
yes.
Shaq. So even a draw, just don't lose. Easier said than done, of course. And Morocco's in the top 10 these days. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can do it.
I've heard McTominay is a really poor player, so maybe
there you go.
There we go. John. Keep going, mate.
Yeah, can you slag off Iran Kunda while you're at it, please?
Oh, we need to retain our audience. Let's not go there.
And then the other game that we have is Brazil versus Haiti. And look, this is the time for Brazil to respond. I have high hopes on Brazil to respond in this game because what we saw against Morocco wasn't good enough. So this is the time for them to shine. But Haiti will probably sit back and hold them off, won't they, John?
Yeah, I think that's their strategy. And they did really well. They fight like lions. And I think they're tactically very good. So here I'm go cursing this whole World Cup apparently, but I don't think I rate this Brazil team too high anyways. I think if the Netherlands face any team in the next round, please let it just be Brazil. Because I don't think, honestly, they've got, like, Vinicius, of course, a terrific player. That midfield is old and broken. The wingbacks are poor. I think there's plenty to win. I mean, maybe not for Haiti. Could sneak in a draw if they're lucky. But I think Morocco, I would rather face Brazil than Morocco. I wouldn't, just my opinion. But I do think Scotland will have a pretty good job in front of them with Morocco, though. And Brazil, we'll see. I mean...
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Any thoughts on that game, particularly, James?
Just really, it is a poor Brazil side. Maybe it's lost its mystique with some players for Newcastle and things like that. Newcastle was a big team, but back in the day it was Barcelona, all high Premier League teams. So it's quite strange. And then their wing backs are not great. I think they've got a player that plays in Russia as well. So I fancy us more against Brazil than I do Morocco, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, let's see how that one pans out. And finally, the last game we have is a must-win for both teams: Turkey versus Paraguay. And both teams have to win this. And I think this is the time for Turkey to actually come out and actually say that they actually prove on the pitch that they're better than the opposition team. Because I don't know if you heard some of the trash talk that they gave to the Socceroos before they played. They literally said that they were way better, and they got smashed. So. Let's see what happens here. Any thoughts on this game?
That one. Fireworks.
Sorry? Fireworks.
I think that's going to be fireworks. That match is going to be... It's going to... the rest of the matches are really cool matches because they face like cool teams. But this match there's something on the line right away. The other matches, it doesn't matter too much. Like if Scotland loses, for example, still nothing lost, right? I can still go either way. Same for Brazil. But I think for this match, both teams have to go. Both teams actually are stronger than they showed in the first match. And I think both teams also have like that rough edge on them, where this could end up ending 8 versus 8 even. So this could be a potential red card fight as well. So yeah, this is one of the matches I think for the neutral perspective could be a really cool watch.
I think this is going to be a banker for Turkey because they have to literally come out and win, and they have the quality. And you can see that they have quality in abundance. They'll come out. Right. Day 8 done. Canada made history. Mexico qualified, and the World Cup has had its first serious injury. Before you go, follow us on Instagram at FUT IN Review and TikTok at FUT IN Review Podcast. A 5-star review on any of your podcasting apps takes 10 seconds, but it means the world to us. Share this episode to someone who wants to hear the Canadian story. Support
if you have someone else I need to curse, just let me know.
Support us without a subscription. Buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/FUTInReview. The newsletter is live, and tomorrow we will come back with a recap on Scotland, Morocco, USA, Australia, Brazil, Haiti, and the other Turkey versus Paraguay as well. And the tournament is heating up. See you then.